I hadn't seen you in a long time. I appreciate you. And my son, Keyshawn Johnson Jr., joins the show as well.
How you doing, TJ? I just want to let you know you're my Madden GOAT. You're the best Madden player that I've ever been with, with the Bengals. 2007, 8, 9. Yeah, I was.
You still play Madden?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Oh, we got to run that phase.
Oh, yeah,
but wait, I don't understand. I'm your father, but he your best Madden player.
Yeah, no, I was a Bengals guy on Madden. It was him, Chad Johnson. It was unstoppable.
Bro, your kids, you're nothing to your kids. I'm starting to realize that with my son now.
Yeah,
I'm starting to realize that.
But according to them, I got high grades on Madden. I don't know nothing about it, but that's,
That's your son.
Yeah, but that's crazy, though. I would never sit up here
You
and
were
be
pretty
like,
good in Madden, too, but nah, him and Chad it's a whole different thing. It was different.
Okay, all right, whatever. You mentioned Chad, Keyshawn. TJ, you and Chad were one of the best receiving duos in Bengals history. Both you 2001 Bengal draft picks, roommates at Oregon State. Obviously, I know that. Both of you amassed over 18,000 yards combined, 111 touchdowns, combined 18 seasons of dealing with Chad in Cincinnati. You spent 8 seasons with the Bengals and then a few with the Seahawks, the Ravens, and then you was done by the time you got to the Raiders. You was probably done when you got to the Ravens as well as the Raiders. So what was it like being around Chad and hanging out with him and just kind of, I don't know, having to deal with his bullshit on a day-to-day?
You don't even realize this bullshit day-to-day because you're used to it.
Yeah.
Knowing Chad since we was at Oregon State, we get to Cincinnati together, and it made it easy for him and I because it's a familiar face. And when you go into a locker room, you really don't know what to expect. So we just kind of stayed with each other. But dealing with Chad, I was used to it. And so all the antics or whatever he was doing, like when I met Chad was quiet. Chad didn't say much.
Yeah.
And so when he did become what he is now with all the talking, it surprised me, but I was used to him. And so.
But I was used to him too and still got on my nerves.
Nah, but you're a little different though. I wouldn't say it got on my nerves. I don't think it ever got on my nerves. It was just like it is what it is.
Yeah, I love him to death, but God, I used to be like sometime like, Chad, seriously?
That's just who he is. Chad is, but number one, I say this all the time. Chad should be in the Hall of Fame.
He is probably going to be in it.
He's never made a finalist list. Key, look at this.
But he'll probably wind up. It's just gonna take a minute.
This is my criteria for the Hall of Fame, and I think it's the best criteria I've ever heard anybody say. Not just because it's coming from me.
Mm-hmm.
Because the Hall of Fame is the best of the best.
Yeah.
And it's continued. You have to have continued greatness. To me, if you at any point of your career have a stretch of 5 to 6 years where you're a top 5 player at your position, you're a Hall of Famer. 5 to 6 years where you are a top 5 player at your position. And if you weren't, you're not a Hall of Famer. Sorry, because it's the best of the best. And Chad fits that criteria from 2002, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He was a top 5 receiver in the league. He led the AFC 4 years in a row.
Yeah, I don't argue with you at all about his production. What I would say is what the voters probably are thinking. He didn't win anything.
We can't control that.
No, but that's them. You know them. That's them. He didn't win anything. He didn't have gaudy enough numbers. Okay, he didn't play long enough.
That's the key.
Okay, and his numbers aren't
How many years you play, Key?
I played 11.
So we all play the same amount of years, right? The guys that played 15, 16 years, does that make them better? No, you just.
But they numbers are better.
You get 3,000 to 4,000 more yards,
but the
200 more catches.
But that's the people in the room that are voting or looking at the total numbers, the impact that you had on your team at the time that you was getting those numbers and where your team was at. Now, when I retired after my 11th season, there was only like one player that was in the Hall of Fame at the time that had better numbers than me. That was Jerry Rice.
That's crazy.
That was it. But I don't, I'm like, whatever. It doesn't matter, It's like whatever. As I've always said, like my mother said, I'm her Hall of Famer, so it doesn't really matter.
Coming from where you come from to make it to where you made it.
Man, I tell people this all the time, TJ, and you feel the same way, and I'm sure Chad feel the same way. At the end of the day, we didn't play football to get a yellow jacket.
Nah.
We played football to line our pockets and get our parents what they needed and our families what they needed. Unlike a lot of people, they play because they want to be known as the greatest. I played because I wanted to cash in.
I think when you go the JUCO route like we went,
all three of us is JUCO babies.
I'm trying to financially put myself in a great position. The Hall of Fame doesn't even cross our mind.
Never.
At all.
Never.
You just trying to get paid to support your family. That's it.
That's about all. You want to get the money. But I do believe that he'll have a real chance and opportunity in the future to be in. Now, he might not get into the senior committee, but
I think it should be sooner than later, but obviously I'm biased. I've seen him every day.
I'm biased too. I'm super biased. He belong in, but it's all of the yellow jacket on the sideline antics. It's the backlash of just who Chad is as a personality, because most of the time, prior to the way that they're doing it now, you had a lot of writers and white writers and voters that was a part of it. Now it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
You got coaches in there, personnel people, you kind of got like ex-players in there along with the journalists that's doing it. So it's a little bit different now. Maybe his name comes up later on down the line and he gets into that finalist category. I mean, but at the end, he had a hell of a career. So and if I was him, I wouldn't even worry about it. We absolutely hope you enjoyed this video. If you want more from us, hit that subscribe button for all videos, full episodes, and exclusive content from the show. And don't forget to find All Facts, No Breaks on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.